Allyn, what's happening?
Gosh, so
H-
much is happening. I was
How
just
many
listening.
how many millions of degrees is it in Arizona?
It's not that bad right now. It's like it's only in the 80s right now this morning, and it'll probably hit high 90s, which that to me feels like it's fall weather. It's
it's
almost sweater
it's
weather here.
it's early fall out in Arizona. What's
Exactly.
going on? What are we
Nice
what are we
hot days are happening. We're good.
what are we chatting about today?
So today, I was listening to your last conversation. I think this riffs off it really closely. Listen, I think the big news around the world right now is what is happening with AI in the workplace and how employees are actually starting to leverage this technology. Um, so here's the big, most informative thing I think I've gotten in the last month as I've gone out and starting to dig around what's happening in this space. The biggest news here is people are using AI tools and they're using them personally and choosing to leverage them to make their workload manageable. And they're doing it faster and outside of the realms of kind of corporate enterprise AI models and platforms. Right? It is all about leveraging AI tools independently. A lot of bring your own to work sort of solutions
Bring your
happen.
own AI.
Bring your own AI is hot. In fact, we're seeing even more of it because there are more and more tools that are starting to be usable on personal devices. People are starting to be able to allow, I don't know if you guys are doing this yet, but I have Chat GPT on my phone. And when I am
Mhm.
sitting in the line at school pickup, which, that's a lovely place to be, right? I have random thoughts to come to my mind that I start using Chat GPT on immediately so that
Mhm.
I have output by the time I get back to the office. And we're finding more and more people are starting to operate this way, right?
I've seen it. Yeah, I mean, what's interesting too, and it'll kind of like lead to the second point here is from a governance, corporate,
Mhm.
legal, ethical perspective, it's like outside devices. How could this affect the company's bottom line? What is their liability on this? Is there a data breach here? Are you taking confidential work information and putting it into a potentially unsecure site? There are folks in financial, like here, let's open up Pandora's box here for a moment. If you're in a data company and now you're taking data and you're putting it into a third party AI function without the company knowing, that's a world of danger.
A huge world of danger. And I think the challenge here is that what most companies are trying to do to address that is put more policies, rules, and regulations in place. And if there's one thing we know about the world of work, policy, rules, and regulations make absolutely no difference whatsoever
People
to
don't care.
people's actual behaviors, right? So the consequences are huge. That's actually been part of the reason why enterprises and large companies are having challenges adopting AI
Hmm.
at an enterprise level or a larger platform level because there's all these deep conversations around which core data set are we going to leverage and utilize? What's going to be the privacy around that data set? How are we going to validate and leverage it effectively and with all the right privacy constraints? But while they're sitting in conference rooms, banging their head against the wall, trying to figure out how they can come to some legal and safe way to operate,
Let's
people are
move
doing it.
on. Yep. Let's riff on that for a little bit here. I think there's two levels to the AI at work conversation. There's using it for your core function of your job that may affect data security, breaching everything, and then there's just operational efficiency, where
Mhm.
you're using AI for maybe time management, crafting emails. Right there's a balance there, but at the end of the day, if it's on a work platform, there's security susceptibility for infiltration into the systems. And it has to be, in my opinion, if I'm a business owner, large enterprise, this is a major concern and we need to figure it out. We need to offer options to our employees so they can be better, faster, more efficient, and security.
Right, right. And I think that's what you just hit on is exactly the point. Companies, one, need to realize that people are going to do this whether they give them safe
Hmm.
options to do it or not. So they need to speed up their adoption and options for employees to do this in ways that they feel comfortable with them leveraging it, right? People aren't doing this out of malice, right? And trying
No.
to create security breaches inside their company. They're doing it because it is the way they can manage the overwhelming amount and volume of work that is hitting the individual employee today. So that's what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of brought up another thing too. Reduction in workforce. The workload has either remained the same or increased. So employees are feeling stress. They're going to look for resources to make their job better, faster, more effective, more efficient, quicker, so they can enjoy family time. It's a double-edged sword here. This is scary times, Ellen.
It's super scary. And I think the biggest challenge here is that people need to be able to look at this holistically. I think what you just pointed out is critical. It is not one thing happening in isolation of the other. You reduce your workforce, you increase people's workload. They're going to have to find ways to navigate and to manage that. They're going to use the tools that are available to them out there in the world, and that's going to put you and your company at risk. So you've got to be able to think about this strategically. There's a really great article that was just posted out there, and we'll send out the link to everybody. I have it on my
We'll
LinkedIn as
link it
well.
up.
Brian Solis did it with the CIOs magazine, and basically what he talked about was the larger issue here is understanding that this AI thing isn't just about the tools creating efficiency. It is about understanding that the fundamental set of roles, responsibilities, and workflows and work patterns, work processes, and business processes all have to be adjusted at the same time. And that's the challenge. We are just not set up to do that at a large level, at a large scale in most companies today. It takes a lot of work, right?
And it's an interesting one too. So let's go down the rabbit hole and let's get into
Oh,
the ethical side of it.
okay. Well, I mean, ethically, I think there's a lot of questions out there. There's two lenses to this, right? At the very surface level, the ethical conversation is this kind of over angsty concern of what is your work versus what is the machine's work, and
Mm.
what can you take credit for and what can't you take credit for? I think that is an interesting conversation because I think it's going to evolve as we move forward here. I think more people are going to start to realize that it is the quality of the prompts and the creativity used to leverage these tools that is your own personal IP, not necessarily the construct of what gets created on the back end of it. The mangling of numbers, the creation of formulas, the
Right.
output of a blog, right? And there's a differentiation there, and that's kind of ethically what do you claim as yours and what don't you is step number one. And then the second piece is what is your responsibility as an employee about what data you leverage and utilize and these outside tools and services, and which ones and what data don't you? How are you making smart choices?
And I think the other side of it too that we want to talk about is this whole weird big brothery side of emotion detection, right? Like where companies are using AI. If I'm on a Zoom call right now, am I making my sarcastic face? Am I getting a little sleepy here? Am I being bored? Am I uninterested? Am I overexcited here? Like, and then they're overanalyzing, and we got some big brother action going on. I mean, have you seen these tools in action? Are they real?
Well, they are. So one, yes, I have seen them in action. Two, they are real. Here's the challenge. I will dispel this myth. I do not think they're being
Mythbusters, Ellen
Mythbusters
Mythbusters.
is not being used at broad scale for the most part, right? I am
No.
sure there is probably some company out there who's doing it, but for the most part, here's what it's being leveraged for. It's actually being leveraged in places like customer service. We're starting to
Yep.
see it being utilized in some of these call center spaces. It's being applied and put on print interaction. So, for example, with chatbots and et cetera. And what this AI can do is it can determine based on how you phrase things. If you're using voice recognition, it can tell by tone of voice. If you're using text to text,
Mm.
for example, with chat, it can look at the way in which you construct your sentences, the cadence that you use to determine things like your stress level, your anxiety level, how interested or uninterested you are in a particular topic, and it can alter how it chooses to respond in order to guide you to the next space. So that's where we're starting to see it. We're not seeing it necessarily. I have not seen reports yet. I'm sure they are out there, but I have not
Right.
seen them yet. Of the Big Brother Zoom call frame, right, where everybody's kind of watching and getting some no
Scary.
HR. I don't think there's any HR. Maybe there is. Please let me know. But there's
I
I
mean,
don't think there's any HR director today getting a report of the company's Zoom call engagement score.
I I mean, listen, I feel like I mean, we could go again deeper down rabbit holes here. I mean, I feel like the government's been using it to some extent for many years from a facial recognition,
Sure.
perspective there. But sentiment analysis, focus groups. I mean, there's a lot of positives to it too. If you're thinking about it, if I put on my brand marketing hat and I look at the tech, say I'm doing a focus group and I want to see emotional responses, maybe to a movie, maybe to a commercial, some kind of brand activation. I see some usefulness in that, but in the workplace, I don't need people, judging every eye roll I make. That's why I'm unemployable, and
Yeah.
I'm unemployable because I would over-index on the eye roll matrix all day
You,
long. I'd be fired within a day.
listen,
Sarcasm, eye rolls, done. I'm out.
I don't need it. I'm 100% there with you. I'll give you my great story for the week. So I've been playing with video a lot, like trying to force myself to get comfortable with it.
Hmm.
So I did a quick video recording for an internal Slack message that I posted up. And about 2 hours later, I went back and looked at it, and it was the quintessential resting bitch face.
Could you
On the,
show us what that looked like? Give us, what does it look like? Show us.
yeah, oh my god,
Do
I
it.
could.
No, no, no. Just do it now.
Oh yeah, it was
Like,
this. Like you couldn't be any stupider. Like I can't even look at you. Yeah, it was right, and it is the close frame on this video that went out to the entire
and
company.
you know it's going to be the first frame of the video too. It's going to be the
It
worst
was.
shot.
That was exactly
Oh
it.
man, that's
So
why people got to do those screenshots. Terrible.
that's right. So that was my lesson there. So imagine if AI is trying to interpret my given emotions at any given time just based on my resting bitch face in my pictures is not helpful.
All right, I love it. Let's we we could talk about this all day long, but let's anything big planned for the Labor Day weekend?
I didn't even know it was Labor Day. You know what? That's what's so sad.
What?
No, I was.
You're
I'm like,
overworked,
I'm
overworked.
overworked. I'm not using my AI to its full
Well,
capabilities.
it's just called the old school calendar. I think that was invented a couple
Yeah,
thousand years ago. Yeah.
yeah. No, my weekend is heavy and busy. We've got a lot of stuff happening over here on the Smart Recruiter side of the house. If you didn't see it today, we literally just announced it about an hour ago. Rebecca Carr has just moved into the permanent CEO spot. Is part of a
Boom.
huge boom. It's part of a huge move that we're making towards an investment in what it looks like to rebuild and reinvent the ATS platform. So I'm super excited about that, and that's what I'm going to be doing all weekend is talking to people about it. It doesn't
Love it.
my life sound exciting?
Well, I hope you have some time to relax and recharge. Allyn, Smart Recruiters, thank you as always for your time, your support, and your intel. And you go enjoy and get out this weekend. Well, not
I'm going
out
to.
in the 100 degrees, but get away from
Yeah,
the computer. Step away. Step away.
step away. I will do it. You too. Talk soon, guys.
Take care. Thank you, Allyn, and thank you, Smart Recruiters.